Hello and welcome to the June 2018 update from Dean Park. It's been a busy month up the loft with a lot of work going on at the storage end of the layout, so I'll take you through some of the updates and ongoing work I've been doing there. I've also got a couple of new locos that I'd like to show you. Any questions, please get in touch. First up, I've been putting in solenoid point motors to all of the turnouts at the storage yard, and that numbered 21 new point motors. I didn't fancy feeding all the wires from each individual point motor back to the central control panel at the station. That's a heck of a lot of wiring, and I also fancied the idea of controlling them through DCC with a mimic control panel with LEDs. So what I've done is I bought this DCC Concepts ADS-8SX, and basically it's a solenoid decoder. You get the 2SX, which is just for 2 solenoid point motors, but what I've done is I've gone with the 8-way one here, and I've got 2 of these so far, and these can take 8 individual points. Or if you choose to double up, for example, it'll fire 2 points at once. So in some cases I've got 2 point motors going into the one set of ports, and obviously we've got the one set here. All these spare ones could be for frog switching, LEDs, push switches, etc. I'm keeping it very simple at this end of the layout. I'm just wiring up the points straight into this DCC Concepts gizmo. That in turn is wired into the main bus wire, which speaks to the Hornby Elite, and I can control my points from the laptop at the storage yard end. Now, I can't see the storage yard from where I sit in the central area of the layout because of the back seating at one of the ends, so I've had to adopt another strategy so I can actually control trains and see what I'm doing, which is the next clip. In order for me to see what's going on at the storage yard when I'm shunting trains and manoeuvring coaching stock, I've got to be able to see what's going on from the control panel. So I've installed these CCTV cameras, and I've got 3 here. I've got the ability to install another one. I've actually got 4 cameras, but I've only installed 3 because the one that's facing you now covers the main central section of the storage yard. The one behind that camera faces the other way to the west side, and behind me right now is another camera covering the rest of the storage yard. As I said, these were an eBay find, thanks to Mike Wellsby from Hope Park Junction. He put me in the right direction with these, and he was a great help with regard to setting the things all up, etc. So thanks for your help there, Mike. He was also instrumental in pushing me down the road of these DCC Concept decoders and the stuff that I'm going to show you in the next few clips. Right, there's the other camera. This is simply fed down into a 10 metre cable, which is just a plug socket like the back of your television. And to power the cameras, it goes into a 12 volt DC bus that I've installed, and I've just used the same wire. If I move the camera down, use the same wires I did in my bus wire for my controlling all my track, and that's basically fed into a Gagemaster 12 volt DC supply using my standard way of doing things without any soldering or any choc blocks. I choose these crimp blades. So there's a power bus that links all the cameras together, and they go to 12 volts supply. And there's also the monitors, which I'll show you just now. They run off 12 volts DC as well, and it's all run off the one controller. What you'll see here is the 2 monitors that I've just loosely positioned behind the Elite controller just now on my pull-out shelf. if I put them on, you'll see that the image from 2 of the cameras comes up on the screens. Now, as I said, I've got 4 cameras, but I've only installed 3, and you can switch between which one you want to see. For example, this one will flick between the camera pointing towards the west end and then the central camera, whereas this one's only got 1 camera linked into it. So if I do press the B button there, it just goes to blue because there's no other camera attached to that. I didn't see that I needed it just now, but I've always got that quick, easy installation in the future. These are designed for HGVs and long vehicles. So I've got 10 metre worth of wiring. I didn't need that, but it's always better to have a little bit extra so you can install it neatly and clip it up with cable clips out of the way. And that's done at the very, very back of the layout. So I've got my panel here, and if I zoom out, what will happen is, if I've got my Elite and my laptop with the Railmaster, obviously quite a big area that I need for that, you'll still be able to see these monitors from a certain angle. However, there's upgrades in the offing regarding the controller, but I'll cover that in the future updates. So obviously I've got my cameras there to watch, and I've had to lower this shelf. If you kind of zoom back, you'll see the shelf at the left there with the Pico switches is quite a bit higher. I've lowered this shelf just to accommodate the CCTV, so when I push them back to put them away at night, after I finish with them, they don't hit on any of the wires underneath the layout. They're not fixed down yet. You can have them on these mountings, or you can have them standalone to set into a fascia or whatever. Again, Mike at Hope Park Junction, he's set them into a kind of fascia. The way his layout works, he's not having to, battle against space regarding the truss spacings. So he's put a nice panel. I might do that on a bit of acrylic here, but if I could screw them into the ply here, I don't get any reflection. It might appear that way on the camera, but I'm not getting any reflection, so I can see a very crisp image. What you'll see here is a bit of ply that's been wedged at an angle. That will become the storage yard mimic board with toggle switches for throwing the points, which will be wired into a DCC alpha cobalt encoder, which will go into the bus wire, which controls the points at the storage yard that I just covered in the previous clips. How do I know if the points have been thrown? Well, I'm installing, along with that, DCC Concepts Alpha Mimic, and these LEDs are red-green, so depending on which way the switch is thrown, they'll show red or green. And there is the kind of mimic board in the box there, and it can take up to, I think it's 12 sets of LEDs, so I've got 2 of those to take the 21 plus an extra 22 turnouts that I'm putting on this mimic board. I'm not made from ply. I'm in the process of designing it on the computer just now, and updates will appear hopefully next month regarding the actual control panel. All the gizmos for the control panel, the encoders and the mimic boards will be housed on a shelf, kind of like this, just underneath the frame of the display and the control panel, so I can get to it if I need to do any alterations. And obviously the panel itself will be able to screw off to get into the workings. It follows the same design, if I spin the camera around, as my traction maintenance depot. That's the design of the actual box that will be copied, if you like, in a slightly bigger scale at the other side of the layout. I'm not planning to DCC the TMD side of the layout. I quite like the way this works without the LEDs, because I have to stand here anyway, and you know, I'll be replacing the board because there's been rusting and corrosion of the cheaply plated washers there, so they'll be getting wheaked out, and I'll just be using the nuts. But I say that's going to get a kind of an upgrade. As you can see here, I'm making a bit of progress on the control panel frame. These are just screwed to the trusses there, and I've got the two sides. None of this is fixed together yet, I've just got to add in some screws. You'll notice on the inside there we've got bits of wood sticking out. That will hold and support this panel here. And on the underside of this will be all the alpha mimic boards, etc., and the wiring will fit through underneath and over the top of it. So therefore, if I need to access any of the equipment, I just go underneath and all the panels will be visible, and that'll get fixed in place. It's very similar to the one on the opposite side of the layout at the TMD, and this particular design will be copied at the other side of the Hornby controller to replace the original Pico levers that I used to control the station points. After much hesitation, I finally added a Backman Class 20 to my fleet. This is a indicator disc version of the Class 20, and it comes in this attractive grey large logo rail freight livery, and the Backman code for this is 32-029A. Now, my reservations of adding a 20 to my layout was that this particular Backman model does not come with lights. You can retrofit lights and buy kits on eBay, but from standard the model does not come fitted with any cab light or head and tail lights. This one's been sound fitted with a Lego Man recording, and I picked it up with the sound fitted, second hand, mint condition, for a very good price. Just take a look at the cab end here, which is really the way that they actually ran cab end first, to give better visibility for the driver. You can see I've fitted the pipe work to this. You even had to trim actually some of the pipes to stop the NEM pocket being filled. So you know, it's not ideal regarding fitting some of the detail. Some people just leave it off, but I've trimmed it so it can still run with the pipe work there. I've fitted the indicator discs, the two white ones and two folded down yellows. This is set up for freight. You get a sheet with all the configurations you can, you know, open and close the white ones and yellow ones to give different configurations for the train that it's pulling. You can see above the white disc at the right hand side there a wee kind of red dot. That's the painted tail lights. So as I say, they've not got any working ones. Turn it to the side. It's actually very well detailed, and the actual handrail is metal, and it's been fed through metal kind of like sockets there. So that's quite a nice bit of extra added detail. Turn it round to the front. Again, you see the indicator discs at the front. This is set up for running light engine, these discs. These discs weren't really used when the loco was in this livery, and you know, they were just there. So I've just set them up anyway. I could have put them all shut at the yellow, but I've set them up. At the front we've got nice little bits of added detail there, and this metal rail there as well is fed through, and it's really delicate. I've not fit the detail on the buffer beam because obviously I've got the tension lock coupling there. The buffers are sprung. Overall, a very good model, a great price, and it sounds fantastic, and I'll show you it running on the layout during the video. It really is a stunner. second new addition to the fleet this month is this Backman Class 47, and this is 31651DB, and it's a regional exclusive model. What Backman are doing this year is each of their area reps is choosing a model, and that model is only being sold in that rep's particular area. So they've had ones from the Scottish, the Yorkshire area, the South, the Western regions, the Eastern regions, and this one down in Wales and the South West. The loco itself is named Tamar, and it was stationed at Bristol Bath Road, and it's in the Intercity mainline livery. Now this one differs from the Swallow livery in that it's not got the italic legend on the side, and the body side lower colour is not white like the Intercity Swallow one, it's a Intercity beige colour. I've seen pictures of Tamar and I thought the lower side was white, but that just might be the quality of the picture and the state of the locomotive at the time. Apart from that, it's standard Class 47 from Backman. It's a good runner, it's got good level of detail. I do like the way this particular one only has the yellow on the front and round the cab. The yellow doesn't extend round the side of the cab, so that's quite a nice touch. I like that on the livery. It makes the body side look longer actually, because there's no yellow around the window edges at the side of the cab. Detail at the front is very nice. The white grab rails, handrails, picked out nicely in white. Apart from that, it's just a very well finished livery. This one did the cross-country routes, so it did venture into Scotland at some point in its daily routines, so I thought, well, that's an excuse to buy it. As I mentioned in my May update, I've had my Signal and Telecommunications facility published in the Hornby magazine, and it's out in the July 2018 edition. And it's got a small caption of my article on the front cover there, and in pages 34 and 35 it showcases what I did in that corner of the layout, and it continues across to 36, 37 where it tells you the materials I used and the inspiration that I took while designing it. So if you want to read about that in full, it's in the 2018 July edition of Hornby magazine. I hope you've enjoyed that video. If you have, why not check out one of my earlier videos? Or if you'd like something from the Network South East region, click on Richard from Everard Junction. The links are on the screen.